light of some of your musical influences?
I get a lot of guitar tapping techniques from Dave Knudsen from Minus the Bear. I've listened to a lot of Godspeed You Black Emperor, Zeros, Explosions in the Sky, stuff like that.
It's almost over, it's just begun. Don't overthink this, look in my eye. Don't be scared, don't be shy, come on in, the water's...
Neat Nation, welcome back to the Droopy Whiskey Show.
Hey everyone, what is going on? It is Brian.
Neat Nation.
Hey everyone, what is going on? It is Brian. We are back.
Neat Nation, welcome back.
Hey everyone, what is going on? It is Brian.
Nation, happy Thursday. Sorry, it's been a couple weeks.
Holy
Duty
snap, Drew.
calls.
We both wearing coffee shirts today?
Look at us. And Flash. I think we are.
It almost went all the way up. I did not mean that.
That would have been a pretty rad way to start the show, though.
Nation.
I'm here for Brian flashing Nation at the start of the show. It would be entertaining for sure. Welcome, Nation. Welcome back to our show. It's time to gather together and talk about whiskey for a little while here. I think I'm on the cusp of a cold. I think I'm getting ready to have a cold. My youngest has yet another fever and runny nose, which she seems to be the first one to get sick in the family. Not sure why that happens. And then she gives it to the rest of us. I got a little bit of a scritchy throat, but the palate is still dialed. So I probably got another 6 hours or so of whiskey tasting prowess.
Until it goes downhill.
Yeah, right. So I tasted a couple things already. So far, so good. It's going to be a fun show.
Oh, Tommy, come on. Give me a chance, man.
What's his deal?
I'm still never going on a road trip with Brian and his goofball music choices. If you send me the 6-digit code that StreamYard sent you, I can log back in, and so I can highlight things and make comments on your behalf.
Sure. Yep.
So you just
give
me those 6 codes.
Do it right now.
6-digit code. Just a little housekeeping, Nation. Just trying to be able to comment from Drew's account on here.
Right, which that'll be delightful.
Always makes for a lot of fun.
Speak for me, yeah. Why do I allow him to do this? I don't know. Because it's a little fun.
I had a little bit of a froggy voice. I got congestion.
Yeah, I hear that.
I'm not COVID positive. I just have drainage. Come back from vacation, getting back to the what's it called? The it's not the Midwest. I mean it is, but it's the Ohio Valley. Ooh. All that Ohio Valley crud. I think that's what they call it.
308-576.
Perry just says 308-576.
Yep.
Streamlord lost your. I think I can enter the studio. I'm just gonna enter the studio. Certainly, I can enter the studio.
Can enter twice.
Oh shoot!
2 different.
I see. Oh, I see
Maybe
what's gonna happen here. Oh, that could get some drama. I could get some drama. Should I just do it anyway?
Inception mode? Are you gonna boat me?
You might. There might be an Inception mode. Maybe there's not.
Okay. Now I just see 2 of you. Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can add this to the stream.
The conversation.
Okay, there.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so to me, I hear the audio stacked, and it's not good. So
yeah, we're getting 2 of you talking at once.
So is this better?
Wait.
Oh, shoot.
There we go. Yeah.
There we go. Wait, now I'm delayed.
No, you're good.
Why do I keep hearing myself?
Do you have 2 browsers open still? Man, the congestion's starting to come on.
Oh,
congestion. Hold on, I'm gonna mute myself here.
This is the greatest, guys. Okay, so that took a little bit, but now I can do stuff like this. Oh yeah. Here's the deal, guys. So Drew took himself out. I did not do that. I did not kick Drew out. Oh, what a worth taking him for a ride. Guys, I need to know if you all want me to stream more. I would show nearly every comment that I decide to.
I believe you would. There
amazing.
are other streamers who also do that. Who their topics are way more freeform, and it's mainly just showing comments. So if you ever want to get, that's true. I mean, sometimes
I love it.
I spent a lot of time in the yard on Saturday for sure, but if you, I can definitely recommend some channels if you want to get your comment highlight in a live stream for sure. Can do.
It looks like I got a vote. Andrew is voting that Brian stays on the left, and Tom is saying not to. Perry, yes, dude, I will stream with you 100%. I will admit, the reason why I have not done streams except for like on Instagram is because I'm scared. I don't know how all of this system works. It looks like I would because I'm able to handle it now once I'm logged in, but this is under Drew's YouTube account, and I assume I can probably link mine as well and use the same platform to use
same
either.
Account. Yep.
But I'm scared,
which I invited you to do.
But I'm scared too, and so I could learn it and try and do it. Would anyone tune in if I started doing lives? I don't know what shenanigans I would get into.
I would tune in. Brian, the reason you're on this channel and we have teamed up is because I would listen to you. And to be super frank, I don't watch a lot of bourbon content.
Doug, I love you, man.
Some of it I find entertaining. Some of it I find a little bit difficult to digest. I'm an impatient man. So it's no knock necessarily on the content creators, more on my personal preferences.
Oh my gosh, another guy down to clown. Here we go.
We'll get into
here we go.
Love this.
Here's another one.
Love the support.
Here we go.
I'm team Michael Flores for the record. I'm also team Brian, but I'm also team Michael Flores. If you want a good coffee follow on the Instagram, you should follow Michael Flores. We'll get into our opening bits and then to some news and then into our topic for tonight. Old Man Bourbon, welcome. Good to see you.
Welcome.
Michter's Barrel Proof Rye, very nice. So Brian, what are you drinking tonight?
Right now I'm actually drinking still a bowl of chicken sausage and Brussels sprouts. Nice. I had to go over to Mom's house. That's a great
combo.
Tonight.
Sausage and Brussels sprouts is a fantastic combination.
That's right. I went over to I blazed over here from my mom's house. I didn't blaze up before this. I blazed over here from my mom's house because tomorrow at 2 my dad's old like veteran comrades that he served with, they have a reunion in Louisville, and they want me to pour bourbon for them. And so I had to go pick some bottles from Dad's collection to bring up to it. And so while I was there, I sipped on a little Four Roses Small Batch Select. But right now I have an empty glass. I have some Four Roses back here. And nice. I have,
as you would. Let's go.
The Starlight Pinot de Charonde. And I have our Middle West Spirits pick.
I would love to hear you taste through the Pinot.
Which should I pop open right now? The Pinot de Charonde Starlight or our Middle West Spirits pick? So I've not tried this since being at Drew's house.
We'll see what they say. We should drink the Middle West together, but the Pinot, I have not had that since we picked it. My bottles are at your house.
Yeah, it's right over in this box over here. I've got a stack of boxes growing again.
It happened.
For Drew.
But I do have my sample, my confirmation sample, as it were.
Yes.
So stoked to get into those in just a little bit. That's going to be very exciting. Matt Dorman, what's up, man? I had a little to just get my palate ready tonight. I had a little pour of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Pick 11-year from Piggly Wiggly here locally. That's a very, very good pick. And then I had a tiny little nip from my Four Roses 2020 LE. And now I've got a tiny little bit of Booker's 2016-06. Matty Pletz left this at the Airbnb after our golf trip. I assume he meant for me to finish his bottles. He left like 3 unfinished bottles. Later in the stream tonight, I'm going to taste Bardstown Prisoner Batch 1 against Bardstown Prisoner Batch 2 because he left me what was left of his Prisoner Batch 1. So I'm going to taste against my Batch 2. I haven't done a side-by-side of those, so that'll be fun. Old Man Bourbon. Is there any way to get your Middle West pick? There is.
I'm checking right now.
Real quick.
Oof.
There's like 12 bottles left. Here's what we're going to do.
There are 13 bottles left.
13 bottles left. So at 8:30, I will post the link because Patreon supporters have had first crack. Those who are insane did not purchase one. So if you're a Patreon supporter and you did not get a Middle West pick, y'all, this is a absolutely fire bottle. Absolutely fire.
I might need to make you push the time so I can order a couple more before.
Okay. Yeah, 8:30. You got time. Because I'm gonna have to talk for a little bit in just a little bit. Yeah. So 8:30.
Oh man, Bourbon. He's saying 9:30 our time.
Yeah, that's correct. 8:30. I'm in Central Time.
We can. I mean, leading into it, Drew. Well, yeah. Let's finish the bits, and then let's go back because this is for some people. They don't remember us talking about this. So
sure. So yeah, maybe not 8:30, maybe 8:45. Whenever we're done talking about it, we'll throw that link up there.
Cool.
So bottles, Brian, what have you picked up recently? Or have you mainly been just Four Roses? Because we know Four Roses, obviously. I've seen the pictures.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been a good stream of some Roses drops.
Nice.
And then the Middle West Spirits came in. What else did I get since we talked last? I got some new stuff, some new Bourbon Pursuit stuff that came in that I'm looking forward to getting into. I got 2 Elijah Craig barrel proof picks.
Wow.
Yep. So those are going to be the next thing that I pop and get into. I don't think there's anything else immediately that I got. It's just there has been a decent stream of some Roses drops. So Liquor Barns here, I say secretly, people shared with me screenshots of these barrel picks and said, when did this release? And I said, you and I are both trying to highlight the same comment at the same time. So it keeps canceling it out.
What's happening?
So I tried to do some digging and then it released while we were on vacation. I did have a friend who did pick one up for me. And then the second one, somebody had listed on secondary, and a Four Roses Cog League in mine were debating splitting, like taking both the bottles he picked up and each buying one. And I've been trying to hook him up with some Four Roses bottles lately and like ship them to him from deals that are for sale here or from some stuff from the distillery. And he's letting me keep one of the 2 bottles, and he just paid for them both. So
wow.
So it's just a couple of Roses stuff thing in here. And I know it's Thursday and I'm behind, but again, Patreon members, that if anyone here is on Patreon, they know that every month I'm a little behind, but every month I try and put up a poll for what Roses bottle I'm going to pop and do a video on from a fresh pop. And then I give 5 samples away from that bottle. And
which are
a
little behind, but you'll get caught up.
Little behind, but I've gotten some new ones, so I don't want to just have like all the old ones that didn't get picked the last time. Of course. So I will say though, anyone who's into Roses, I'll give you what the running list is so far for the next one I'm going to open, and we'll talk about that. I've got oh wow, I only wrote one down so far. That's dumb. I did get, and I already opened it, but I could still do it instead and do the video on it. I got another one that's in that OESK run as the Mellow Moments bottle. And it's super tasty. There's one from Cox's and Evergreen I got right before I left on vacation. It's an OESF recipe. I still have this tier 6 OESQ. Doesn't matter. Just Roses, dude. It's just Roses.
All the big Roses guy.
It kind of taps into some of the stuff in your last video. You know what I mean?
100%,
it's just like
100%.
That's just where
What
I'm
else
at
are you
right
gonna
now. It's
get?
like it's in my lane.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep doing it.
Just ride that lane, bro. Like pedal to the
Nettleton.
metal, Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift style. Stay in that lane.
Dude, I'll take samples of all the Westlands. I saw Take like look like he bought like 10 Westland bottles, and all I was just like, I'm just really intrigued by them.
I'm learning. So I know from chatting with Nick Brady Moss when Take went through Dancing Goat with Seal Box, that it was like, hey, yeah, just let me take all of these. So again, slightly less discerning, but yeah, I mean, it seems like when he rolls through someplace, he buys or earmarks a decent amount of barrels, which I know he's also buying for a couple other groups too. So it is what it is. What did I get? I got a Four Roses pick, which is being dropped off to me this weekend.
Yes.
The Woodman's one I didn't get originally. I have no idea, actually. I have no idea. I can look it up. Here, let me look it up. For the sake of information and making this an interesting journey for members of Nash, I will figure it out. It's in Messenger. Wait for it. I hope it's in there. So Ken Gilbertson helped me nab this one. It is a 8.6. It's a first tier.
That's okay.
But I don't. Oh, OBSV. First tier OBSV. 10-year, 1 month. I'm a big OBSV guy. Though,
what's that run? Does it have the run information on there? OBS. Did you say OBSV or OBSF?
861 OBSV. Warehouse SN 86-1F.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm always thrilled to get one. So, yeah, that's it, though, other than my Middle West stuff. So, yeah, the Pickens here are slim. I've made a few stops recently and chalking up a zilch. Matt Plutzy does have an in on a regular Eagle Rare source, though, so I may restock my Eagle Rare here before too long.
Let's go.
If you're wanting to pick up any more of those Middle West bottles, now's the time. Just share a little news from Nation in the Drew P world. This isn't the end. Let me preface this because it's going to sound bad when I lead in. It's not the end of Drew P whiskey here, but it's going to be the deceleration of Drew P whiskey, at least in the short term. And I don't want to make any promises I can't keep. It's not that bad. It's not bad. Work is good. Work is good. Very busy time for me. And obviously bourbon's not my only gig. Didn't actually expect to crank out as much content when I first started making videos as I have over the last year and a half. But there are some, I'll call opportunities on the horizon at work, which are going to just demand some focus and time. And with that, and let me be also honest, I'm behind on getting Patreon swag out. I have it all. I'm going to get it all out. We got to get caught up here. I'm probably a month and a half or so behind, which I don't like being. But there is likely going to be a change in my content pace, and therefore there may be a change in Patreon coming up. Like I may suspend Patreon. We may change it a little bit. And all that's TBD. Like I just want to be super transparent with everybody. But I will, particularly for Patreon members, first give it like a longer update when things are a little bit more nailed down. Totally, I'm on board with that. What I will say is I will continue.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Abandoned Bourbon live stream. What's up?
I love that for you, bud. I will continue to make videos. That is 100%. I love the way you guys are taking this. Gonna continue to make videos. Gonna continue to do live. I just can't commit to a pace. That's kind of where we're at right now. And I don't feel comfortable necessarily maintaining Patreon the way I've structured it exactly without being keeping the pace that I had when people came into Patreon. So for the time being, going to keep doing one video a week and, keep up the live streams. And then, as we lock into what the transition is going to look like, we'll make everybody aware at that time. But yeah, shout out to Brian for his constant support, levity, and Nation for just being good people. Thanks for the shout out on the haircut. I did take the fade a little higher. Nice. The names are just fantastic here. I'm just gonna sit back. I can drop now and just let Nation take over. Chat's about as good as it's ever been, I feel like.
No, it's funny. I think we're done.
Yeah, the haircut is fresh. I took the fade a little bit higher today. I feel like I'm about to join the Airborne, Army Airborne Division, jump into Ukraine or something. So I feel like it's a little bit shorter than I think I'm comfortable with, but you know what? It's fine. High and tight is over.
No, it looks great. Perfect summer cut, man.
Right. Air it out.
Looks like you're ready just to take a White Claw out to the backyard and do some walks around the field.
Or some high noons.
Yeah.
Which I almost thought we should have busted out the high noons today.
We really should have. It's that time.
Good to bring back
the Topo Chico ones yet?
No. Topo Chico high noon?
No, they're just Topo Chico seltzers. Are terrible.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's just Topo Chico with vodka. That's what you're saying. Or flavored. Do they have flavored varieties? Got it. Well, I'll stay off that. I'm pretty sure I have high noons in there, but I wanted to taste a lot of whiskey tonight because I know that my palate is going to be condemned here in the next couple of days, probably due to whatever virus. I mean, my daughter might have COVID. She might have COVID. This might be it. I've been a COVID virgin. My COVID cherry has not been popped. I may be doomed. I feel like I'm one of those genetically blessed folks who somehow haven't had COVID still at this point. Who in the chat has not had COVID yet?
Yeah, we should
a 1955 rockabilly do. Pixar didn't happen.
Michael Flores, the MVP with the Drew Going Away Fund.
Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing: is I really don't.
Oh my gosh, the Not Drew Show! I love this. This is a great name.
Yeah, lots of good ideas here. Many ways we could go with this.
Not Tom. Nope.
I want to continue to do picks. And the other option was that I would quit my job.
That's not what we call it, Eric.
Other option is I would quit my job and we would just go full into whiskey. Unfortunately, I've got 3 kids, and that's probably not a viable option at this point. I would never rule out a career in whiskey down the road, but at this point, coffee is that's my thing. So is what it is. You might see more. Honestly, you might see a lot of Drew P coffee. Who's to say?
Dang! Are you moving to Portugal to start a studio garage?
What?
I said, are you moving to Portugal to start? Did you see that Lance Hedrick is moving to Portugal in 6 days?
No, to start a studio.
He and his family
garage?
Are moving there, and he's going to set up a studio in his garage.
What kind of a video studio?
Here's Tom.
What kind of studio?
I don't know. He just said he's going to make a studio to keep making content. He's still working for Onyx. Is still going to be making content.
What?
So
that's bizarre. I mean, good for him, I guess.
Looks like we're both going to Raleigh. We're moving.
Go make $14 an hour. We're going to Kyle. That would be a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big proponent of joy, and I would love to work with the boys. That would be a lot of fun. Sold out.
Look, wife, don't
I mean,
freak
that's
out,
the challenge, right? Right.
I sold the house.
Yeah, I quit my job, my stable job with benefits. Man, I'm all in. You're gonna see a lot more bourbon around here, though. That's a tough sell for sure. And I mean, a lot of people make YouTube content, like Drums and Drams. He's been a lot less on the YouTube because he's got life, and I think he's got some intestinal issues or something. He posted a video of when he got an endoscopy or something the other day on his Instagram. It's just tough. It's tough to keep up the cadence,
Yeah,
day
it sucks that you
job.
can't go full time in whiskey right
Diaper
at the
money.
time that like NULU honeys cost $150 in stores.
Right.
You're
I
really
mean,
getting out
and
the
if you
wrong
watch my
time, man.
last video, it is related. Like, if you watch my last video, it's like, well, what am I gonna do? Like, thankfully, there's a lot of members of Nash who like to just hear us share our opinions, which I cannot say thank you enough to the people who just actually like care about what we have to say about this. That's just a special thing. Do not take that for granted, which is why I want to keep making videos for the people who love them. Like, you all are the best. But yeah, finding whiskey that people want to hear about at this point is a challenge for sure. All right, you want to talk about Middle West?
Let's talk about Middle West.
And we'll come back to the future, future plans for the channel. I will say we still have 2 barrel picks coming still. Big Deck Energy from Driftless Glen. And then that's the rye. And then we've got yeah, it's awesome. And then we've got a bourbon too on its way. And would not rule out future picks. They may just be fully public and not Patreon exclusive in the future. Again, we got a lot to work through, but I just want to be transparent with folks about where I'm at. So
if anybody
right.
doesn't remember Middle West, you're okay, because we picked it like at the end of July last year, so nearly a year ago. And you probably also might not remember it because we've almost assumed that it didn't exist anymore.
Yeah, that was the joke.
Or that it was never happening. So we've kind of just played it off as if the entire distillery is unoperational and doesn't exist. However, it did arrive. And now we have it.
Much to our surprise. And many people, many Nation members. So here's the part where, as Brian and I taste this together for the first time since the pick, that I would love to hear those of you who have gotten it give us your skinny, because it went out pretty quick. It seems like Sealbox is stepping up their game in terms of logistics.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
So folks got it within just like a few days of ordering it. So if you've had this now, throw down your notes. Was it worth the hype? Was it worth the wait? $65. Where are y'all at? I'm gonna pour myself a healthy.
Yeah, let's have Tom drink with us too, because Tom was on the pick with us.
If he's got a camera, we'll bring him in.
Okay, so I'm gonna pop it. I'm gonna
pop it. Yeah. Make sure you get it close to that mic, man. We gotta pause. Moment of silence. Moment of silence for the bottle pop.
Get this open real quick. And I'll talk about some of these ancillary. I'll talk about that. Can you hear sounds going okay?
Oh, it's so good. Love that.
Yes. All right, here we go. Ready? Are we ready for it?
We're ready. Get up in there.
Oh, that was weak. That was so weak.
That was so weak.
So damn
weak.
That was the worst.
It's like if you pause the room to fart and you're like with the boys and you're like, boys, I'm gonna crack one here, and then it's nice.
Okay. Look, he does have a cam.
So. All right, Tom. Yeah, Tom, I'll send you the link if you want to get up in here. If you can be fast on this, I'll just bring you right in here.
So yeah, with this pick too, this is kind of cool for me because, as of recently, I do see Middle West products on the shelf, but not these picks, obviously. And the only other pick I've seen in Kentucky is Justin's House of Bourbon. And so I told one of my buddies that we had one. He's like, I would love to try it because the one from Justin's House of Bourbon was great. And I have not seen another one in Kentucky. So, obviously it's not releasing out of Kentucky, but I am here and part of this. And somehow I poured some from this and the bottle hasn't done anything.
It has magical powers. It refills
except for looking dark as this microphone.
Oh yeah, so dark. Were you gonna say balls?
Yeah.
What kind of balls were we talking about?
I mean mean, apparently
Dark ones.
So apparently dark ones. That'd be it. Welcome to the Not Drew Show, where we talk about balls. Okay. Anyway.
All right, Tom, I just sent you the link, man. Bourbon balls.
We just lost 7 people with the terrible bottle pop and talking about balls. So
yeah, I think
there's
most
that.
of it was probably the bottle pop.
By you, 7. Yeah, that bottle pop was terrible. Let's get Tom on.
Yeah, and so we got to taste this. Then we got to get into the topic that we promised people, because maybe I think that's probably why we're losing people. Somebody's like, when are they going to talk about MGP?
Yeah, right. Fred Minnick is like, let's find the best whiskey of the year. 3 hours later, he just starts it. People understand the thing. They understand the thing. This smells.
Well, I mean, yeah, I feel like we're actually relatively to the point, because I find that also annoying. But here we are today.
Kyle, tell your wife I'm sorry, and then I would love to see her again. When you guys going to come through town?
I've never met his wife, but yeah, I certainly apologize to Mrs. Ramage. Obviously, we were talking about bourbon, but we were talking about like milk duds, candies,
talking about toys, and like it's just
this
really
is
good for
this is a family show,
mental development.
This is a family show about bourbon, about whiskey and hard alcohols that children should never drink, but it's a family show. Right. And so if we ever happen to mention something genitalia adjacent, it's accidental and only played for humor.
Yeah, and we should definitely get some
an
bourbon balls made up for us.
Dark ones.
Yeah. Some dark bourbon balls from I'm supposed to be working with Art Eatables about doing some, not bourbon balls, but some excuse me, truffles. So nice. I need to message her back. About that. So I'll do that. Maybe see if she wants to make some bourbon. Oh.
This is a good point from Flores here. I accidentally real quick on Flores. Is it about decks? Yeah, it's about eating dark bourbon balls on big decks.
Yeah, I could do that. We can throw some on big decks. Hey, what's up?
That was creepy.
Yeah, I could do that. We can throw some on big decks. Hey, what's up?
Uh-oh.
Well, this audio is going to drive me nuts, Tom.
Yeah, audio problem. Tom, you got headphones, bro?
Hey, what's up? Uh-oh. Or can you like turn your
headphones, bro?
Ear aids down a little bit or up a little bit so you can turn the mic down?
Yeah, okay, I'm going to boke Tom for a minute till he figures this out. Whew, that was tough. Really tough out there. Old Man Bourbon, dude, if you're in Patreon, yeah. So real quick, if you're a Patreon member and you have not bought this yet, we posted multiple times in Patreon. Hey, it's coming. Hey, it's live. You should get it. So if you're on Patreon now and you want this, we're about to post the link as soon as we're done tasting it for people who are watching this who don't give us money to buy it. So if you do give us money, you need to go buy this now. $65 killer value.
And real quick. Let me preface, because before we post the link, I also want to say, because I know some people who are like, the shipping sucks. How do I get to like the $100, first order free shipping thing? Do I get, and I'm not saying like buy a bunch of other bottles, but again, because it's been a while since we talked about this, do remember to the last time Drew was in town, we did catch up with Blake. And we did go to Starlight when like 13 barrels were picked, which is a ton. And I am in no way saying buy them all, because they weren't all good. But Drew and I were like, if he lets us either take these barrels or split these barrels, there are a couple
certain ones,
that are good, and some of them are still available. So I can let me drop those links are active. So let me find those links.
Is the sherry finish, the Oloroso bourbon?
The sherry finish is still there.
Yeah, that's one.
Sherry finish is still there, sure. And it was so much vanilla. It was so good. And then there's one that is one of the guys earlier was saying he was drinking. He picked up the rye, and it's like a really maple forward syrupy rye. And then we did a bourbon that was, again, real nice kind of vanilla notes to it, really enjoyable. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to post, here's this link right here. This is the link for
the Starlights.
The Starlight Sherry finished. I'm not
Nice.
telling you to buy these right now. I'm just giving you some links
Just add them
that
to
you
your
can
cart,
reference
if you
in
wanted to.
case you were interested. These are ones that are labeled for seal box. They are entry proof adjacent because they are picks
Entry
that we were
proof
on,
approved. They're
and
entry proof approved.
And we still haven't done this, but we did talk about getting like little gold stickers for other cases like this. Any barrels that maybe we agree on, they're not labeled for us, something for Drew, whatever, like stickers that people can order through the Patreon and get. So they're like, we know that these are like trusted palate approved stuff that I like.
Or you can just be like, oh, that sticker, no sticker, you get it. Oh, look, TJ McDonald just tagged us. Absolutely fire image of this Middle West pick. All right, Tom, you got yours, bro?
I do.
All right, let's get to some nose descriptors on this guy because I do want to get to our topic tonight and honor the.
Oh, that
the
is a
whole
fire
pitch of
picture.
this vid. Yeah.
Mm.
I had written a review on this as soon as I got the confirmation sample on Patreon. So I would love to just hear you guys talk about it on the nasals. Tom, you had thrown some note or a particular note in our text thread. But as you've had a little more time with it, and maybe you tell people what that note was. What was that big note?
More time with it.
Yeah. Can't not. You did get 2 though, so that's good. All right,
so all my willpower not to order 2 more tonight.
It may sell out before we deliver the link, which
I know.
shame.
I thought I'd be nice to other people and let them have
That's
it.
kind. I mean, it's kind. But anybody who paid for the right deserves to get more, I think, now if they want more.
Yeah, you should definitely buy some more before it's gone.
Yeah. Anyway, the only reason I didn't purchase more, I have 2 for me, is because I have too much bourbon. I'm gonna drink this a lot because I love it, but still, I've got so much good stuff. So
yeah, I might have bought more, but I've already got a lot of Middle West strength stuff. So.
Oh yeah, well, it's in your hood, which I mean, we would have never known. So one of the reasons you can speak into this is we would have never known the glories of Middle West were it not for you, Tom. And because you sent me the samples early in last year's 100 Craft Whiskeys journey, you're like, hey, here's a blind, here's some Middle West. And I was like, heck, holy smokes. Yeah, there was a Middle West pick that I dug that was in my tops.
Yeah. Looking back, I gave you guys way too much of that bottle.
I wonder if I still have
I think ours
some
has got to be equally good. I'm pretty sure I had saved some too, and I felt like ours was equally good.
Oh, I think this is better than that.
Okay, all right. Cheers to that. Okay, so notes.
There's
Give me some
a
nasal
lot of
notes.
similarities. It's that umami and that really, really rich. There's just a lot going on. I mean, not necessarily any one thing on the palate. It's very I don't know. There's a lot. I'm really enjoying it for that reason.
I like the rich descriptor. I think that helps signal. Like there's drippy sweetness, maple. That to me it's very in the maple category. Brian, what are you getting?
Andrew, by the way, this I know it was not a 3. Pretty sound small for this one. Was it a 30-gallon?
I believe so.
What was the size of the barrel from? It was 102 bottle yield, and
Big Deck Energy is also a 30-gallon.
Okay, so that is the same.
Now, doesn't Middle West only do 30s?
They were. I think they were. Maybe that's still all they do. I don't. But I know that all we tasted were small barrels, which is interesting because the big distilleries swear off small barrels. They're like, yeah, they're not good. And I'm like,
well, that's an
not been my
efficiency thing. It's an efficiency and a cost thing.
Yeah, that's not what I was told, though.
Yeah, but that's
like
I totally can't play it off as making it cheaper.
Sure.
No, small barrels suck.
Sure.
Why would we want to do that?
Yeah, I understand.
This is in that mapley molassesy, sorghum, like
Yeah,
brown
molasses.
sugar. It's in that territory.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Dark.
It's kind of
sweetness.
dark
There's no
sweetness.
bitterness. There's no bitterness though, like with molasses.
No, it's got a good little spice to it though. I mean, it does remind me. We had said, I haven't tasted on the palate yet. We had said that this reminds us of like E.H. Taylor small batch. I would say this is like, it doesn't have a lot of the fruitiness, but it has the sweetness that you usually can't find in like a lot of other products. That's kind of native to that.
I kind of disagree. If we're talking about palate, like nose wise, I would say yes.
No, I haven't talked about. I haven't tried it yet.
Like,
I haven't tried it yet.
Got it.
Just nosing.
All right. I get. What do you guys get in terms of oak presence? Because given the age, south of 4 years, I'm just absolutely blown away. But wood is there. It meets you. It meets you, and I'm like, heck. Yep. I don't know that I've had a whiskey so young taste so oaky while still being well balanced, or even smell so oaky. Brian, I would have paused. Hold on just a minute. Brian.
Dude, this is... No, I'm done. I'm not going to do it.
Can't do it. What did I do?
Can't do it.
I was going to let Brian give us the lip smacking again.
Okay, here's the deal. I remember you saying this. It is not on my... It's the last thing on my notes. But I remember you posting this, and I thought I remember someone who recently got their bottle, maybe Cade, saying this too. But the first thing I got on the palate just then was grape, like grape jelly.
I'm not getting that so much tonight, but I did the other night when we were chatting with Fred.
Yeah, I thought you said it was grapes, and more grapes, which I continually get that note as I come back to it. Kind of a grape soda.
Sometimes with youthful stuff,
but
I'll say
grapey flavor, which I love. I love that note.
Sometimes I'll say graham cracker in a youthful way, and this has some of that graham cracker sweetness, but not as youthful as some of the other youthful pours. I wouldn't say that this tastes like graham cracker. I must assume that it's south of 4 years old. It's just a flavor that's there. It's got, and I think maybe it's because of that dark sugar sweetness.
Do you, what do you think if you were given this blind, you would guess the age at? And I know that's tough because obviously you know how old it is, but what would you guess the age at if you were given this blind?
5.
I would
really. Why? Tell me why. Tell me why.
This reminds me of, I don't want to say hidden age necessarily. This reminds me of the good younger MGP barrels. So this is pertinent
which
to
we'll talk
show.
about. Very pertinent.
So
it doesn't take anything like MGP. Anyway,
I noticed it. No. But it's the oak at that age. It doesn't have old oak notes to make me think that it's like 9 or north of 9, but it doesn't taste young. It doesn't taste overly leathery or charred like Old Foresty, like Brown Foreman camp products. So, but there is good oak, not youthful wood and not old mature oak.
I don't know.
I like that. I like that descriptor.
Quantity of oak makes me think it's older than that.
Yeah, I love Brian's way he described that, but I agree that if we're talking about oak decibels, if there was a parts per million of oak, it's a pronounced flavor profile. Well, I get that there's a difference between maybe the like this might be a little brash compared to something that was actually aged longer. What this might lack a little bit is while it's rich and kind of got this drippy sweetness, it's not as like viscous as some higher aged whiskeys. So Drew, that would be the only thing that would deter me from an age statement north of 10 years. But I think I would be landing in a hecka oaky 8 to 9 year range. That would be my guess.
This tastes adjacent to the Spaniard. It tastes like like
that.
This as a bourbon is complementary to the Spaniard as an American whiskey.
I agree.
Like they have similar flavor pockets. Just one leans towards the American whiskey, and the other leans towards bourbon on the ancillary flavors.
Absolutely. And when we were asked, I think we were
Got that
talking about it
funk,
in
too.
our text thread, like, what's your favorite picks? Tom, maybe you asked us that, or it was something we kind of kicked around in our text thread. I said the Spaniard and this one are 1 and 2 for me. I think I tasted them blind and I picked maybe the Spaniard over I'm not sure. I don't remember. You can find that video somewhere. It may be on Instagram. But those are 1 and 2 for sure. And if you dig the Spaniard, I think it's a lock that you're going to dig this pick.
It's got a lot to it. It does have oak. It's rich, but it does have spice to it. It is fruity. It's a little dry, but some of the fruit flavors are just enjoyable. This is good. It's really good.
Yeah.
There's
Real
a
glad we got this.
funker
Real glad it's
must
real.
on the Spaniard that's not. You don't get anything like that on the.
Yeah, it's a little more winey too with that Spanish oak influence.
Brian, I'm comparing it to the OESK sample you sent me.
Okay.
That's an interesting comparison.
It is.
You're going to have to remind me which OESK. I gave you the Mellow Moments one?
I think so. QN 515C.
Cool.
10-year, 1 month.
Yeah. That's the Mellow Moments one.
I think the richness on the Middle West tops the Four Roses by just a little bit. The nose
I would probably
Roses
say
is
that
fabulous.
I would say that the Four
Four
Roses probably
Roses.
comes off a little bit more sugary than this Middle West does.
Actually,
From memory.
I actually
not
kind of
comparing.
thought the opposite. Well, sweet, if that's different than sugary in your mind. I don't know.
It's
I
hard
would
to
say
tell
the
with
Middle
Brian
West
sometimes.
is sweeter.
Well, I don't know anything about whiskey. Good night, folks.
Dude, don't even
Wow.
listen.
Yeah, I
That's
don't-
okay.
I don't-
You
I don't have
guys
to
asked
compare 'em.
me
I
to
was-
come on. I don't know why.
No. I tried that. I tried that OESK
Yes.
earlier today. I'm trying to remember. Comparing them, I don't know how they would taste together. I was just comparing against other Four Roses.
You boys talk for a minute. I did not go to the bathroom before this stream.
Drew,
which
here's what
was
I'm
a
going to do.
mistake.
While you're gone, Drew,
Before we even get in the car, Drew.
I know. I should.
I'm going to drop the link, dude. I'm going to drop the link.
Yeah, you drop it. You
Wait.
drop it, y'all. So Patreon members have had their time. If
So
there's any bottles left,
again,
it's free game now.
Patreon, you had your chance. For anyone who didn't get it, again, I don't even think we mentioned it, but this is $65. We're not asking 80 or 90 or 190. There it is. For anyone in the chat, it was my comment here. I'll highlight it real quick, but check my comment. There are not very many of these left. But that's it. That's this Middle West pick. And I've not heard from any of Cam's crew yet, but I'm excited to. So this again with Tom, man, we should have seen if he wanted to come on the chat. But Cam from Drums and Drams also was on this pick with us. And so yeah, we opened it up to our crew. We opened it up to Cam's crew. It's been almost a week now. So that's that. Oh, Eric, I could taste him right now. Dude, I'm such a bad friend. I'm such a bad human being. Eric sent these blend samples, and here I am, like my one thing that I do is like take notes on stuff, and I can't even give a friend some straight notes. What are you working on, Tom? What are you deep in thought of?
I'm sharing
better
that
pop-up.
link.
Oh man, Eric's out to dinner. Must be a nice dinner. Yeah, Kyle, that's what I'm talking about. Here we go. Please do it. Roast him. Yeah, let's see how.
What?
Oh, I can't cuss on Drew's stream. On my stream, there'd be curse words. Yeah, let's put Eric Sawyer's blends on blast. Should we? Should we put Eric Sawyer's blends on blast, everybody? While we're here. Here we go. Should be 5 of them, I think. Because this key Should be for the game.
Were these for mashing? What were these for?
I don't know. We're not getting into a game though. I don't have a game.
No. It's not a game.
Eric's blends.
Oh yeah,
Eric's
you
blend.
do
I'm
need
gonna
to
put
taste
his
those.
terrible blending skills on blast.
You do need to taste those. Let's do our topic, and so we'll both Tom for a little bit, do our topic, and then we can talk about Eric's blends and roast them. Tom, thanks for jumping on, buddy. We might bring you back later. Don't go far.
Cool. No worries.
Bye. See you, Tom.
So
Josh's Midwest is good.
I know. I've been drinking a decent amount of it. So I've got of my confirmation sample. Shout out Rudra for the generous confirmation sample. I've got like half a bottle left and then 2 in reserve. Drew P. All right. Let's answer this question, Brian. Because I thought when Porkins drew this out, shout out Porkins, our boy Andrew Beck. Channel wouldn't be the same without Porkins. How much MGP is too much? And I thought that was a great question because the presence of MGP has evolved over the years. And I mentioned this in the comments of the show that there was sort of a plethora of 6 to 10, maybe 6 to 12-year-old MGP from 2015 to 2018. And then that shifted to, now a plethora of 4 to 6-year-old. And it seems like that's where we've kind of landed. And, I have thoughts about this, but you've spent a lot more time around the Nashville barrel companies, the NULUs. Mm-hmm. You've had some broader taste analysis of these brands. As we look at the industry overall, it seems like there's still these 4 to 6-year-old MGP drops still command premium price, still sell out relatively swiftly. And what? So what do we think about that? like as a bourbon connoisseur, somebody who is in the pursuit of bourbon, is this fair? Like, is the continued pursuit of these products fair? Are we approaching market saturation? Just give me your take, and we'll kind of riff on this for a little bit.
Yeah, I personally, I could probably Google to see if it gives me a more accurate, answer, but there's so much MGP out there, and I will mention
Penelope, NULU, Nashville Barrel Co., many others.
And there's a multitude of different things too. There's tons of different mash bills. And so True. I'm not trying to say that there's I will preface and say, I'm not saying that I hate on MGP. I don't want it to come off that way. I don't want to say that there's anything these companies are doing wrong. I think we're just talking about it, right?
Of course not. Just talking about it.
So I will say that I don't know if it's a race to the bottom, but obviously, kind of as Ham Turkey saying right here, my general easy, undeep answer to the question is sure, if you were going to go for MGP, find who's got it the cheapest. Was it Remus? George Remus picks? Best bang for your buck, probably?
Picks. Yeah, 6-year Remus picks, in the $50, $60 range.
But I will say, there are a lot of brokers with MGP barrels, and not all MGP is created equal. And so just because you are a non-distilling producer who uses MGP does not mean you will be successful if your runs of MGP are not good, in my perspective. So long gone, probably, are the days of Blom, OKI,
12-year Blom picks. Yeah,
a lot of the real old Smoke Wagon, Bell Mead. These days, the golden days of the 2006 distillation year, whatever it is, of MGP are gone or held or going into other things or saving to be allocated. We see them in the Remus 5 kind of thing. Some of those barrels drop; those are good. But we don't see a lot of that. Now what we're seeing is probably still MGP, and it's light whiskey. There's now a huge craze for light whiskey. Light whiskey's even in this new OKI Reserve product. Light whiskey's in Bardstown Bourbon Company Discovery. And I feel like I keep seeing the age doesn't necessarily elevate, but the price certainly does. And that is not my, and even, look at this. So let's see. I've got NULU Bourbon, 5-year and rye, 4.5 years. The picks are good. Definitely not worth the 80s it costs, but their prices went up. And I don't even think I'm pretty sure they're selling closer to 100. Dude, I don't know if you saw, and I'm not throwing shade. I found it interesting. I saw that one of the Mash and Journey Nashville Barrel Company picks is $189.
189?
I don't know what all's involved in it.
What was the age?
Finish. Hold on. I think it's 9 years old.
Like let's get some specs. Let's get
this is so Mash and Journey. They have a bourbon, a 6-year bourbon, 204 total bottles, $100.
Judas Priest. That's
a 9-year rye, 165 total bottles, $189. Now,
what are we even doing?
Now, hold on. Hold on.
I love Scott and I love Jason, but what are we doing here?
Well, hold on. I will say, and I'm not trying to say this because they're necessarily my buddies, but if you follow the trends of some of the awards, if you actually try some of their products, of all the people who are new, so I'm not talking Smoke Wagon, I'm not talking OKI, I'm not talking Remus. Nashville Barrel Company is getting the best barrels in the game. So they're 5-year bourbons, they're 7-8-year bourbons, maybe this 9-year rye. I'm not trying to make this statement and say this statement is factual, but like Willet used to have 9-year, MGP ryes, and people would probably beg to still buy those at $189.
That's true. That's a great point.
I will say they're getting high accolades on their bourbons.
NBC.
4-time double platinums, whatever. Their products are
Flava Flav clocks. It's so platinum. It's a Flava Flav clock.
Again, I won't spend too much time going up because again, we talked before too whether we wanted to bring a Nashville Barrel Company pick to Nation because we could get one, but we also know it's going to be kind of pricey.
Yeah.
It's going to be pricey.
It's like if I don't want
while we're talking, would you all want a Nashville Barrel Company pick because we can get one?
It's a great barometer. While you talk about that, I'm going to just interject and you keep digesting because your thoughts are you set the stage exceptionally well. Very well. That's why I love you. You're very well thought, smart, well-educated, balanced individual. And you should run for office. I would vote for you. $165 for a 9-year whatever is very, very difficult sell. I did buy the Willet product at less than that, the Willet blackened finished product. I have passed on every single 4-gate release. So that's the adjacent product I think of. Those 4-gate releases are 6 to 8 years, and they've always got these weird finishes, and then they charge out the butthole for them. They don't cost that much to make. Granted, I know that buying product from a broker, as 4-gate I believe does, is not cheap, but finishing is also not that expensive. But if you can develop a reputation as a premium brand and you can get the endorsement of a few, whiskey tubers, it can help you move some barrels. But if we're still looking at cost against value as cost against value in the glass, there's no freaking way that makes sense to spend that, especially when the MGP 10-year rye is still on the shelf at Total Wine, which is a fantastic release at $100. It's still there, people. Go buy it. I need to go buy another one. I haven't bought a bottle in a while, so I can afford to buy it. I'm going full Stephen A. Smith on this. Like the amount people are willing to pay for these MGP releases is crazy. The fact that we could drop an 8-year barrel strength MGP release at what, 60? What was Suggestions of Buttercream? Like 60, right?
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was. You know, which I'll put up against these $80, $90 4 to 5 year releases. I mean, like, that's what I want to do with our picks. Is like, yo, here's a whiskey that I will stand behind. Should I have my entrails removed, like the final scene of Braveheart? I'm still standing behind that whiskey at that value. It's just a tougher sell to tell somebody to go buy a 6-year bourbon at $90, or whatever theirs was, or, you know, a 9-year rye. Like, it's got to be amazing. It's got to be amazing, which maybe it is. I'm not going to judge those guys. Like, again, I love them, and I don't think they have ill will. Like, I don't think that they would willfully steer somebody wrong. So I absolutely don't want to say that. But principially, I'd be hesitant AF as fudgy bourbon balls. Hesitant as fudgy bourbon balls.
Yeah, I will say here I am.
So now I'll dial it back.
This distilled in Indiana.
Rare
character pick.
A whole other story. I don't know anything about them.
Now, no. So I will say too, you know, again, I have tried some MGP stuff that's been fire, and I've tried some stuff that just doesn't hit it, man. Just does not hit it. And here's one thing, going back to one of the things you said when you opened the question up, you said, like, is it fair? I think you said that. Is it fair? Like in on the topic of, like, is it cheating or something like that? Now what's interesting, you go back and look at some of these top lists of, like, the Thrillist is doing, whoever, some of these top lists, and you're like, and I look at those sometimes because of the Pursuit series bottles to see, like, how it's placing, if it's in any of these. And then it's like, oh, here's Pursuit, like, here. And then it's MGP, 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 MGP. You know, it's surrounded by MGP products. And so that's the interesting thing, is, like, it's interesting to me for MGP to, like, just slay a bunch of these awards. And it's like, well, where really do you put the, who's getting the award? Who's getting the award? You know, so you have a little bit of that. Ooh, that actually smells a lot different than the Middle West. Yeah, who's getting the award? Going back to that question, Tom asked, anyone tried Penelope Barrel Strength? I almost reviewed a Penelope Barrel Strength toasted that that Michael Hall. Shout out to Michael Hall.
Great
left
guy.
When we were doing a fire in the backyard, and I was like, dude, this is really good in context. Really good drinking around the fire. Really good in its placement of the lineup. And then when I went to pour it to taste for the review, I'm like, I can't do a review of this. It's just not all there. It's the toasting is a little off. The bourbon's a little off. Now, I've seen other people talk about, like, the local liquor barn pick, and they're like, oh, this is really good. So maybe I just need to try more. But at the price point these are coming out at, it is difficult to continue to try to find ones you like. They've got to have a very successful track record to get me. Like, the reason why I spend $75, $80 on Four Roses picks, because it's very hard to come into duds.
Track record. Yeah.
But, like, I could never say the same about a brand who does MGP stuff. Never.
Well, it's also a 4 to 5 year difference on average for the same price. Yeah. Granted, not the same secondary price, but
still, like, I would never assume that, like, oh, I'll give this a shot. Or, like, cool, I'm going to give this. I mean, I still have never bought a Remus. I mean, I have Remus 5, but, like, the George Remus
repeal. Oh, yeah.
Never bought one.
I mean, I bought 2 of one of the Remus standard George Remus picks because I was able to taste it first, and I was like, dang. I did taste another one that was not as good, but this one I bought 2 of because it was great, and that was great value. But to the point here, not the point, but a point. How much MGP is too much? There is no right or wrong answer to that question, but I will say that it's totally dependent on the person who's doing the selecting. And you kind of called this out related to Nashville Barrel Company, which I can't speak to because I haven't had any of it. I don't think. But what we know from our experience doing picks at small distilleries, tasting barrels in the 3 to 6 year old range, is it depends so much from barrel to barrel. The volatility in the product from barrel to barrel is massive. Some barrels, like, there was a straight Riot Starlight that's still available on Sealbox that Brian did drop the link in earlier. Very, very good. But there's a lot of similarly aged Riot Starlight that's dog crap. It's not good. It needs more time, needs a lot more time. It's just for whatever reason this barrel's tasting fire already. That's not always the case. And MGP is going to be comparable. Like at that age statement, 4 to 6 years old, there's going to be a lot of whiskey that's just not good. It's not ready. It's not mature. For whatever reason, those barrels haven't aged as fast. And sometimes barrels just come out worse. Whereas sometimes you're going to get a fire. You're going to get a fire barrel. And so if somebody is really, really good at selecting and bottling fire single barrels, they're going to have some gems in the 4 to 6 year old range. And there's always going to be a market for that. So if you can build a brand off doing really, really great selections, you can command a premium price for them, and that's fine to an extent. To an extent, there's a line there. And I fear that our clamoring for the next hyped thing as bourbon consumers is just making this market ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Like what we'll pay for a decent bourbon at some time is insane, because I do believe this now pretty, like before I was maybe a little hesitant, like we're trying to get what's best. Now I think there's a pretty good extent at which bourbon consumers are buying hype versus buying the quality of what's in the bottle. And I'm just over that. I just don't care anymore about the hype. I've been burnt out on hype. I know what I like, and I'm going all in on the bourbons that I love. And when we can, I'll love to release a whiskey that is new to somebody that I think is absolutely amazing for the price, like this Middle West pick as a general, non-specific example. But to chase something that a Nashville barrel company 6 year for close to 100, I'm just out. There's no reason I would buy that over a Russell's or a Rare Breed or a Henry McKenna, because I can still get it periodically at 60, or what else? Makers Limited, Elijah Craig barrel picks, those are less. Smart Smoke Wagon Uncut, that's less when you can get that. Yeah. I mean, I just think with a little bit of shopping, you're going to find a much better value. So, All right. What else you got to add to that? That was a diatribe.
That's okay. There's a good question right here, which we kind of hit on, but I'd like to keep going. Well, actually, hold on. Let me see if there's one more thing here. Yeah. And I will also say, too, even if you do get something that is MGP and is age dated, again, some of those real honey barrels are gone, and I would not assume that just because it has an age statement that's a decent age is going to assume that it's a good barrel. So some of these things too. What is this? Trying to go back through some of these last comments, see if there was something there. Tom Harper, I paid $65 for the Penelope Toasted. Wonder if I made a mistake. I wouldn't say that. I mean, even $65, it's a little young, but like even $65 is cheaper than most of these things that we're talking about. Andrew Beck brings up a good point. Now, I always counterpoint this. For 190, I can get and mentions a couple other things. Depending on who you are, this argument goes either way. I don't always think that now, and he mentions it too. I know quantity isn't everything, but I think I'd get more enjoyment from almost any pick. You're probably right. Sometimes I would lean, like I would say, like some of these. I mean, I love Kentucky Spirit. I think the Stellum Rye is pretty solid too. And Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, great. So these three, hard to argue. But down, and I will slightly answer now. This sounds like a broken record. Andrew's question. There was a run of, and you notice them because they were all really dark. There's a run in Nashville Barrel Company 5 years that were better than some of the 7 and 8 year picks that I was trying at the time. And it's just a run they pick. It's just barrels that they picked up. I think that James is pretty discerning there in what he does. I've not tried any of their blends. They've been doing like cask strength blends that seem to be going well. They sell direct on their website. Seems to be kind of fun. I can't speak much more to that, but they seem to be really discerning in what they buy. And I know there are other distilleries, NULU, that are not as discerning about what they buy. So
I didn't ask for their permission to use their image on this video. It is what it is. I have tried NULU, like we were given some samples of that, and it's fine. It's just like young MGP, which is almost always fine. It's almost always like fine. You know, it just can get a little grainy at times.
I forget what the year was. If you can somehow find older High West double rye still when it did have the MGP rye blended in, dude, those were a great value. $20, $30 for a rye that still had some kind of older MGP rye in there.
Yeah,
solid. What is it right now? Is the Redemption. Redemption's like the last remaining brand with good valued old MGP juice.
I don't know why people just ignore it. So that would be my pick, Redemption. The young Redemption, like, listen, if it's not the high aged Redemption barrel strength stuff, don't get it. The young stuff is bullcrap. It's garbage. It's horrendous. Don't spend your money. I haven't had a barrel pick of their stuff that I've liked. Just the old stuff, but the old stuff is very, very good. Then I just it's not new. I don't know that anybody's doing MGP right now besides MGP, which is now Ross and Squibb, which is just a nightmare. But the old Scout. So old Scout up until 2018, even the 7-year batched 99 proof or whatever it was, old Scout was so good. And then their 10-year gold foil and then their single barrels, just absolutely delightful stuff. And I'm hanging on to a little bit. I got 2 that I've held back, and sometime soon I might open the 12-year single barrel I have, but then it's going to be gone. You know, it's sort of legendary. I've got a few, unicorns, and those are one of them.
But even like the resurgence of OKI and their like 5-6 year bourbons,
it's not even comparable. It's not the same.
It just tastes it's one so derivative of what the old OKI was. It just tastes like
it's the bastardization.
Else.
It's the bastardization of that everything brand. Else. And I use a word that could be construed as profanity. But I mean it because it's actually true. Like it's the illegitimate offspring of OKI. So MGP, like the heyday of MGP was in these single barrel picks by these up and coming brands, previous OKI, Old Scout, Bellmead, and that launched it, and people became aware of the quality of this stuff. And it's just been degraded in the younger stuff, which is still good. The distillation is still good. Like, it's not bad whiskey, but it doesn't warrant the hype of those other products. So how much MGP is too much? I think there's too much out there. Like, there's still just too much stuff on the shelf being traded at a premium. So how much is too much? We passed it. We need to, and MGP, Ross and Squibb, I know that like they're not offering new contracts. Like, if you don't have contracts with MGP / Ross and Squibb, you're not getting new whiskey. We know this from Nick Brady Moss. So we're past that point for sure. Like, we're not going to see, more brands releasing MGP, which thank God. Because it also, like, it tastes very comparable too. There are some different mash bills. There's a wheated mash bill. Like, I have a pretty fire 8-year-old wheated from MGP in Boone County. And then even Dancing Goat has some weird high malt bourbons, which I think are weird. I haven't been in on the ones I've tasted. I'll say that out of the gate. Nick really likes them. So hats off to Nick for that. Love Nick, obviously, but not exactly my profile for bourbon.
I know that we talked about this when we were doing like our playoff stuff, but like another brand. our playoffs of like
drafts.
our drafts.
Yeah.
But like another MGP that flew under the radar, man, was that Bullet 12-year rye.
Heck yeah. I'm team Bullet 12-year rye through and through. That stuff went back easy.
Dude, that was amazing. That was amazing. People didn't know
Yeah.
how good we had it on the shelf. They just be like, it's just too light. It's too light. And like, you'll never get it again.
Yeah. I'm okay with lower proof if it's got age, you know, if it's good whiskey for sure. All right. We can move on. That was great. Any other closing thoughts? It seems like there's a lot of chat up in the Chizat. Whiskey in the Word. What do y'all think about Magnets with Nancy Fraley? Some of that has 18-year MGP. Couple things. Whiskey, I've talked about this. I'm a big, huge fan of Magnus Cigar Blend. Love that. Murray Hill Club. I like that. That's a good one. I think at $100 ish. If you can get it for less than that, $80, yeah, all day. $100 fine if you must. But $80, yes. Cigar Blend is phenomenal, and I would pay much more for that.
Look at this gun. Look at this one. Tom doesn't know he's sitting on a gold mine.
Yeah, Tom.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that in like 4 years. So you got to go back and buy it.
Right. Yeah.
Now it could be the Bullet 10-year bourbon,
like 2018.
or was it the 12-year rye? Dude, if it was the 12-year rye.
10-year bourbon's still good, but the 12-year rye was a one and done, and people crapped on that too from a review standpoint. But I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Okay, transition. You've got to taste some stuff from Eric. We got time, but I want to do a quick blind. I've been tasting this while we've been talking, and I need to talk about this. This is Bardstown Prisoner Batch 1 versus Bardstown Prisoner Batch 2. Okay, and I wanted to taste these side by side since I had the opportunity. And I got to tell you guys, there is a night and day difference in both the nose and the palate and the overall quality of these whiskeys. If y'all have had Batch 1 and Batch 2, which one did you like better and why? And I will briefly compare. I'll start with Batch 2. Batch 2, you smell Dickel. You get Dickel all up in your face. It's orangey. It's winey. It's a little nutty. Sweet. Doesn't smell bad, but it smells like Dickel. I'm not anti-Dickel, but it can get a little tough. But Batch 2, big Dickel energy for sure. Palate wise, nutty, sweet, like tastes good, tastes desserty, but you get a little orange or a lot of orange peel, kind of like brulee orange peel, and then this kind of roasty nutty. It's Dickel, old Dickel. Basically, if you took 15-year-old Dickel, which it's not 15, but that profile, finished it in red wine, you get Prisoner Batch 2. Okay. All right. Batch 1, though. Okay. This surprised the living daylights out of me. I expected like some comparability. It's almost not comparable. Batch 1, I smell, and you could convince me it was not Dickel. It doesn't have the heck of pronounced orange. Granted, I'm tasting it up against Batch 2. But I get oak, and I get red fruits and black pepper, maybe a touch of cinnamon. It smells fantastic. And then palate-wise, the age is more prevalent. The fruitiness is a little bit more muted. Batch 1 of Prisoner is very, very good. Very good. I am team Prisoner. Like, I would want another bottle of Prisoner Batch 1. It is exceptional. Like, I love this. Every time I taste it, I'm like, heck yes. I go to Batch 2 and I'm like, it's fine. It's just really desserty and it's really Dickel-y. Batch 1, which is Tennessee bourbon, not necessarily Dickel, probably, is very, very good. So color me surprised, but if you're sitting on Prisoner Batch 1, good for you. If you're sitting on Prisoner Batch 2, it's fine. All right. That was my 4-minute review. You're welcome. Yeah. Now, what are you? Let's set the stage for what you're going to do here, Brian. And Tom, if you want to pop back in, you're welcome. If not, you're welcome to not to. Or Eric, if you want to pop in, which he was at dinner. But what we have now is Eric had sent whiskey samples to Brian. Eric has been a contributor to Jason. Again, we love Jason. We may not love the price of Nashville Barrel Company picks, but we love Jason over at Mash and Drum. And Eric has contributed to Mash and Drum's Blend-A-Geddon the last maybe couple years. So in prep for this year, Eric wanted to send Brian some samples that he had blended to get Brian's feedback on them, which Brian has not done. I think Eric sent you those probably a few months ago. And
to be fair,
so
my
now,
life's been busy. But
yes. So you have good, reasonable excuses. Very reasonable,
but not
even excuses.
that long of reasonability.
Sure. It's tough. Anyway, so now Brian's going to taste these and give Eric feedback, which I don't even know if Eric's still in the chat, but he can watch this later. But I'm going to sip this Prisoner Batch 1 slowly. I am big fan of that. Batch 2 I've had for... I tend to bring it to, like, if somebody, invites me to a thing, I take this because I'm like, they'll kind of, I think people like it because it's really, really sweet, and I kind of want to get rid of it. So seemed like a win-win.
I didn't watch the Blend-A-Geddon to know really what he's going to go for, but I'm going to go through these and
he feels like you're. So I did talk to Eric about this. He said that he felt like your palate kind of was reminiscent of Jason's, which I don't know if that's true. I honestly have no idea. So I think he just wants your honest take. That he wants to know what you like.
Yeah. So when I look for, what I would say if someone's trying to pick out like the best blend, like things that I like, maybe someone else doesn't like. I want the nose to be rich and complex because I know, but that. Even on the palate, like the palate will still win, but it's going to jump out versus other things when it is. And so
Eric also said that Jason's a big finish guy.
Yeah.
Like big in which I'm like.
So the nose on A, I'm just going to start and go through A, B, C, and D and E. Hopefully if I can get through them. The nose on A stings a bit.
It's the nostrils.
It's kind of got
this is going to be fun.
honey.
I'm just going to commentary.
Yeah, it's got a little honey, some subtle fruit, like prune, like some dark fruit notes. It's a little dry, has a little bit of cinnamon, like it kind of lingers with some cinnamon spice or like some baking spice, but it is not overly rich. So like if I were scoring this 1 to 3, 2, give it 2. So we'll go ahead and go on the palate for there. Palate's the same. If I'm going to score high on a pour, I want an engulfing palate. The palate is just like the nose. It stings at first. It's not very wide. Stings at first, not very wide. Dark fruits, spice. Finish does have a little bit more depth to it, but it is a long, dry trail. It's slightly mouth-wetting, like on the palate, continuing. It's a little deeper than the middle. It's pretty dry, but does kind of have some satiation on
Love
the tongue.
that. Yeah, great word. Good pull. You win the Isaac Newton Award for gravity.
That's A.
For diction.
Okay, that's one sample. I don't have a dump glass, so I'm probably gonna. Oh, here's a mug over here. I was using this mug.
I'm stuck on that. So Isaac Newton, he was the gravity guy, right? Who
was he?
What was the dictionary? That was Newton's too. Is it the same guy? Is he a dictionary guy plus plus gravity. My history is, I know certain things very well in history. World War II. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But not so much gravity and diction. Although I did watch that movie, The Professor and the Madman. That was a whole big thing. That movie scarred me. That's a long story. I'll do a podcast maybe one day on that movie and the presence of shame in the human psyche, but yeah, messed me up a little bit.
There's a lot of shows and movies I want to watch right now. I've not started Stranger Things. I've not started
I gotta watch that.
Obi-Wan, and I want to go see Top Gun. I want to go see everything.
I'm with you. I want to watch all three of those, and I haven't watched them either. Dang it!
And I have not seen the new Doctor Strange yet, so I'm like way behind on catching up on everything.
Me too. I mean, we both have kids. Like, when are you gonna go to the movie theater, right? I mean, so you kind of gotta wait till it comes out. And then with Stranger Things, I know once I turn that on, I'm going to need to invest 4 hours. So it needs to be like tomorrow night. We'll probably start Stranger Things season 4.
This one, the second one, the nose is amped up a little bit more, but it has notes like a weeder, which I don't like. You know me, like when it comes to makers, that kind of green wood note that's in makers and some other craft whiskey is not a big fan to me. And it has a little bit of that. It has a little bit of spice and some grain, and then like it's like cinnamon toast. It's like cinnamon and brown sugar, like cinnamon toast, cinnamon and regular sugar, I guess, but like cinnamon toast. This is good to know. I don't know that I would
describe. Yeah, it's helpful. I don't know that I would describe makers as green. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
like it's not toasty oak, but
it's a French oak. It's a French oak thing, I think.
Yeah. That's how I describe it. It's more of this French oaky, like Scotch type finishing. Not Scotch in a malty way, but when oak is present in Scotch, it tastes like makers.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, Tommy Boy's back. Guess who's back? Back again. Yeah. Tommy's back.
Camera.
What?
I'm looking at the wrong screen.
Oh. Okay.
I've got the chat on the wrong screen not under the camera or whatever. It's all good now. So
okay, good.
Buttercream and Spaniard.
Oh, nice. That's a fun duo. That's a fun blend too, actually.
Yeah,
I don't know if you ever tried blending those two.
I haven't. The other day I said I probably put Buttercream after Middle West as my top 2. No, Spaniard is definitely better.
Yeah, I'm definitely Spaniard over Buttercream.
Mm-hmm.
But I like Buttercream. I'm proud of Buttercream, particularly for the value. But I'm definitely Spaniard.
Spaniard's a little.
Oh yeah. Buttercream is definitely a golf course pour.
I still don't have a bottle of Buttercream. I feel so annoyed.
I don't know what. Like we gave it like weeks.
I know.
And then it sold out, and you're like, "Oh, I didn't get one." I'm like, "Well,
it
sounds like a personal problem."
I'm a doofus. This one's darker looking.
All right, so you're still out of the first 2 you tried. Where are you at, Brian? Give us a little synopsis.
The palate of B is nice. The palate of B is not disjointed. Let me see. Let me put that on there. Not disjointed. It's chewy. It's fruity. Oaky. It's deep. It's citrusy. A little cherry Twizzler in there with a long, sweet, complex linger. Very nice. I mean, if you were to tell me, Brian, that was just Discovery Batch, I'd be like, oh, okay. I guess I can see that.
Why don't you pull it out?
Discovery Batch, what you cut out? Hold on 1 second.
4.
You cut out there, Brian. Oh, Batch 4. You thought the second.
I'm just saying 4? Because I think it's so drinkable and still complex. It just drinks like that. Like it's not out of balance. It's solid. So if you like, and it again has a long, pleasing, sweet finish. It's not overly rich. It's chewy. It's good. It's not yeah, it's good. See,
Tom, I've just started kind of tasting through the open Bardstown stuff I have. So I went with the 2 prisoners, and then I tasted prisoner 1 up against Ferrand. Prisoner 1 actually wins against Ferrand. And then I have Disco, whatever, 7 here. I was going to hit that next to prisoner as well.
I had a little bit of Ferrand earlier, and it's really good.
It's just really, really cognac-y. Big cognac vibes in Ferrand. And I just wish it had more oaky bourbon. Like, I just feel like it's not a great... I feel like the blend is too cognac-y. Cognac took over that product.
So I watched one of the Bourbon Junkies videos today. They were going about just whiskeys you should own in 2022, and they talked about the Woodford Batch Proof, which I haven't touched in months. So I think I'm going to pour a little of that here after I finish standard and buttercream.
All right, Brian, number 3 there from Sawyer. What are you getting?
The C sample is a comparable nose to 2, but it lifts that French oak like touch to it. It has a little bit more balance. Definitely some brown sugar, some fruit, and what I like to call wet wood or wood. There's something that's like slightly oaky. It's not quite musty, but it is a little like tepid. Maybe it's a little like it's like I don't know, like damp wood, and not like wood that's been not like logs sitting out by the fire. I'm more like there's a leak in your garage, dude.
Musty, dank wood.
It's a little dank, but it's not that inviting mustiness, really. It's not an old mustiness. It's just there's some wet wood in here, dude. The palate starts off bigger than C. It bursts with flavor and then it washes away. I can't quite tell if I like that. It's almost as if it's like a snake oil salesman. This is going to be great. No, it's not. I can't tell if it's doing that. It does start more sugary. It's creamy. It's got some juicy dark fruit to it. Do you have all of these samples? Did he give these to you too?
No, he did not. Apparently, we know whose palate he appreciates more.
It has a balanced baking spice finish. I don't think that would score high. It's just fine. Nothing to write home about.
So, are any of these where you're like, "Oh, that's good"? Are you're because you're each of these reviews?
Right now,
two seem to be your spike. One, you're like,
I mean, so here's the deal.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
We know that Jason has 63,000 followers, and probably plenty of people who think they know whiskey and will want to make blends. And so, I feel like with all the whiskey I do try, kind of like when tasting coffee on the cupping table, I feel like I will know if it has the it factor that has the ability to go forward. And
so it sounds to me like you're saying Sawyer is a poser.
You know, I want to say that Sawyer kind of sucks right now. So
Sawyer, I wouldn't be that harsh on you, man.
I think B's kind of fun. I just wish it didn't have that thing on the nose that I feel like could get like a strike against it. Also, I will say on this, going back to the MGP thing, I am doing a NULU barrel pick at 10 o'clock tomorrow. So there's that.
Who are you doing that with?
Why did they even let you in the building?
Full transparency. Yeah, right. Yeah. Like absolutely take a massive dump on NULU the night before. And
why did they even let you in the building, Brian?
Here's the deal. If people know me, people who know me know that I'm not really shy about my particular feelings with NULU. And just because I have qualms with NULU doesn't mean that they're necessarily a bad brand, and doesn't mean that other people are wrong for liking NULU. I just don't really like them. But Blake's
it's a very nuanced point of view.
I mean, my perspective is not the right perspective. My perspective is not everyone's perspective. It's just my own. So I just try to be open to that.
Sure.
It is a perspective. It's just like it's like having an a-hole right here. Everyone's got one.
I think blunt, real quick before you move on, I think blunt honesty is underrated. People take it as meanness. Like if you're honest, you're mean. Like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, listen, like it's my perspective and I'm going to share it. And if I'm like, they're the worst, they suck, they don't try, like they don't give a crap, like don't judge the people, but you can judge a product. Like, I do not like this product. I think this product is bad. I think it tastes very bad. Well, Tom might do that, but
I'm not a Christian anymore. I will judge whoever the hell I want.
It's free. There are some freeing aspects to apostasy for sure.
Well, so I will go back to what I was saying. So the Bourbon Pursuit guys are doing Pursuit Palooza this weekend. So there's a ton of activities going on. So there's a lot of people in town, not just like bourbon enthusiasts, but I saw Rare Bird was at Wild Turkey yesterday. Jason was at Wild Turkey yesterday. It's Bourbon Night folks were there. Blake's coming into town, so he's flying in tomorrow. His plane's supposed to arrive. Blake's plane is supposed to arrive at 9:30, and the pick's at 10. And
wow.
So there's a lot of stuff going on. And so Blake was like, "Do you want to do NULU pick?" And I'm not gonna turn down.
You're not gonna say no. No. Any pick. Yeah, I would.
Yeah, but when is the NULU pick? When is the NULU pick? Do you actually even know?
10.
Oh well. Oh, so Blake didn't schedule that.
If Blake scheduled, I would hear about it after Saturday.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, you're supposed to be here 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, we've been there.
Fortunately for me, NULU is like just a couple of blocks away, so I can go in and do a little bit of work and then just roll up there.
Yeah,
I was taking the rest of the day off anyway, so. D is really fun. D has like some quirky sweetness to it, a little bit of oak, kind of a scotchy like fruitiness, and then maple sweetness, maple sugariness. It's nice. Pretty good, pretty unique. It's from the other ones for sure. Let's go ahead and go on the palate.
Prisoner Batch 1 may be my favorite Bardstown finished product that I've tried.
Really?
Did I ever let you try the Chateau de la Bourse?
No, that one's the most legendary.
Oh my gosh!
In terms of reputation,
yeah,
but I've not
let's
tried
go
it.
back. Let's go back to MGP stuff real quick.
Let's do it.
So apparently, if 12-year rye barrel, bullet 12-year rye sits on a barrel somewhere or on a shelf somewhere, maybe you have some of the older Bardstown Bourbon Company finishes that were the Indiana bourbons, the Goodwood Honey Ale, the Chateau de la Baude, the Copper and Kings Apple Brandy. These were all MGP based, incredible whiskeys at a fantastic price, still over $100, but for finished, for like premium, like 11, 12, 13-year-old MGP stuff, amazing.
Good. Yeah, I would love to try. So if you want to send me a sample, or when I come to town, I want to try and make it, Brian, which we didn't talk about this, but I want to try and come down sometime before the end of June. And then I still want to make it for Kentucky Bourbon Festival, still high on my list of wants for this year. So we'll chat about that. But so I'm tasting now Prisoner 1 against Disco 7. And I mentioned when I popped Disco 7, I liked it. It's not really comparable to Disco 4, but still very good. I'm still a fan of Disco 7. It's sweet. It's got enough age presence. It tastes like a blend of well-aged bourbon and well-aged light whiskey. And I'm here for that. Like I think it's good, and I'm not sorry I bought it. And I think Prisoner 1 and Disco 7 are probably on par quality-wise.
Which
all right,
Disco?
we're on Disco 7.
And
Prisoner
1.
Yeah, Prisoner 1 and Disco 7 are probably. I like them both. I'm vibing right now.
Okay.
Anybody who's in the chat, is anyone in the chat from Nashville? Just as a heads up, just as an inquiry.
Nashville Barrel Co. or Nashville, like the city?
Nashville. They live in Tennessee. I'm coming there on the 24th, and I'm trying to figure out. No. There's a Roses event that I'm going to on the Saturday. Cool. I'm taking Kristen. The kids are being watched by my mom, or by Kristen's mom and dad.
Nice.
And I'm trying to figure out like what level of like dining and drinking that we're going to go to. So I wanted to run some restaurant
So
ideas
at what
back.
point
Yeah.
does like Four Roses give you like equity in the company for as much as you buy?
Definitely who are a lot more than I am, but I do like them a lot.
I feel like you've earned something.
I don't know how. Dude, here's the dream. I mean, I know that they've worked their butts off for a long time and have an enormous following, but the Bourbon Pursuit guys yesterday picked 6 barrels at Wild Turkey. It's a dream to pick a single barrel at Wild Turkey. They picked 6 barrels at Wild Turkey,
right.
and today got 2 more Roses picks from the one they already picked earlier this year.
Good God.
And they tried to get a third, but they couldn't get it through the loop system quick enough to get approval before they like had to leave the grounds.
Aww.
And I'm like, how do you exist so well?
Yeah. I don't know, man. So some of it's like these guys are well connected. They're well.
No, I meant how do I buy the Pursuit guys picks?
Yeah, you got
to be like the top tier of their Patreon. It sells out before it gets a tier 2.
Son of a.
Yeah, which is like I'll just clarify. Like I'm super proud of Nation and what we kind of built here. Over the last year and a half.
It's an affordable price.
That's why you're leaving
affordable
us,
picks.
right?
I'm not leaving, Tom. I'm just adjusting. I just have to make sure my kids can go to college or whatever. That's kind of what we're talking about. So it's like it's a crap or get off the pot situation, where it's like, unfortunately, we're not the first people into the market of bourbon content creators, which is Bourbon Pursuit was, and they actually created good content. So and they're really good people. So.
Yeah,
no hate on those guys at all whatsoever. But in terms of our paths, like Brian is actually fortunate because he's connected to those guys and he's local. Like I live in Wisconsin, and that puts me at a disadvantage to both connection and barrel access. And if we wanted to create other content, I can't just go, right? Like I'm lucky to make it a couple times a year. So at some point, you just got to make a call. Like, am I going to just like, hey, make videos recreationally, like periodically? Hey, I got this, or this is rattling around in my brain, so I'm going to throw it out to Nash, a couple times a month. That's probably what I'm going to end up doing. Or like the other option, which I seriously considered, was I'm going to move to Kentucky and we're going to make a go of it. That just seemed irresponsible. Which would it be fun? Sure. Would it be scary AF as fudge bourbon balls? Yes, it would. And given the fact that I do want to make sure my family's cared for, I opted against it at this point. So
okay. I get it. I've had to make choices in along the way as well. So
yeah, and I'm not going to regret it a single moment
of this.
D. So tell us about D.
Oh, are you talking about bourbon again?
Yeah, I'm back to bourbon. Now I can eat because I'm done tasting things. I can go back to my bowl of food. D is the one that had a really good nose, really corky nose. And the at a really good depth, really good sweetness. It was oaky and sugary, really good harmony, long, subtle spice finish, well-placed fruit, complex. Then it went to the E that started off on a really good nose. Salted caramel ice cream, butter pecan. It tasted like walking through the mall right in front of Cinnabon. It was like,
wow,
this is some nice sweet stuff. But the palate was mega hot, mega young. It had that peachy, like Pinhook, Blue Run, peachy thing going on to it. So that it immediately ended for me. D and B are the two that hit the best. I could revisit them, but D is definitely who I'd take as the best one out of this bunch. Both of those two, though, B and D, both seem like products that I would drink.
So tell me about D. Like, give me a comparable. If you felt like D was your fave, what does it taste like?
Gosh, B is so oaky though. B does remind me. B reminds me of BBC Disco 4. Let's go back to B then. You were asking and see what I think it reminds me of. So D, man, I don't know. The nose almost reminds me of like a more sugary, less oaky, Elijah Craig 18, which based on I think Kyle saying that he likes nutty stuff, maybe is in his favor. It tastes like, it smells like, dude, it's not overly damp oak, but it smells like just sweet, sugary, slightly dry oak and a little nuttiness.
That sounds great.
And it's quirky, like in some like Scotch like fruitiness. The more it sits in the glass, it's a little mapley. Let's go ahead and go back on the palate. The palate just, it's full, sweet right away, like almost candied sweet. So I don't know how Jason is with sweetness. It could be too sweet for him, but I like something that hits with a lot of sweetness. It's long. It's like, it's still going. It's like one of those things that's like, have you ever vacationed somewhere where the sand is so soft that your footprints stay in it and they like kind of sink in? Or like your kids ever play with the clay that you push your hands in, you pull them out, and it leaves the imprints, and they slowly fill back up. It's kind of like that on the palate. Like all the flavors soak onto the tongue, sides of the mouth, and they just last for a very long time.
Sweet.
The fruit's not dominant, but it's there. It's complex. There's a subtle spice finish. It's very long. There's a good amount of oak and a good amount of sugar. I'll be curious to hear what this one is.
Yeah, I wish he was here to tell us, but I think he left.
It's probably best that it's not here, so there's not like
send you a decoder ring or something.
Jason to see. All right, I'm going back to my Brussels sprouts now.
Oh yes,
yeah, that's a palate wrecker. Bit of a palate wrecker.
But yeah, I have to agree on the Brussels sprouts and sausage. Killer.
Yeah, absolute fire.
Terrence, we were talking about Jason and Mass and Drum because what I was just tasting through were samples that Eric Sawyer has been waiting on for like 2 months for me to taste through and get feedback for him to do for Blendageddon. And that's something that Jason does. And so Sawyer
Jason's going to be taking Drew's spot on this stream.
So me and Jason are going to start the Mash and Abandoned Drum, and the Abandoned Drum, and Drew's gone. Drew is gone.
It's over. It's not. I'm not gone.
Bye. So, Tom, what's up, man?
I'm enjoying this batch proof. It's good. I haven't touched it in probably 3 or 4 months. So
I will say it was, to think about having to dial it back was very, very tough because to be real, like made a lot of friends through this, and like that's tough. Like it's been a really, really fun journey over the last 18 months, and it's not over. It's just I just have to dial it back. Like that's just the way it is. But it kind of sucks, like it's not an easy decision. Hurts a little bit, but it's also okay. So yeah,
I know you didn't.
I know we're joking about it a lot.
No,
but I mean, in Patreon, I'm gonna go in. I'll probably do a Patreon stream, go into much more detail when I can over like what's sort of going on. It's all good though. Like life is good.
He's so cryptic. Tom, he's been so cryptic all day long with me.
It's because there's literally stuff I can't talk about. But
can you meet me in the parking lot, Brian? And bring your stuff in a box.
Yeah, right. Anyway, the run will continue, Terrence. The run is not over. It's just like if I was running at like a 9 minute, let's say I was running at an 8.5 minute mile. I'm gonna dial it back to probably a 12-minute mile, which is a brisk walk. Not to say I won't jack it up to a 7-minute mile and sprint.
My 16-year-old runs under a 6.
I'm sure she does. That sounds great. Like that's a great pace. And that's a really remarkable pace that I could never do physically.
Sounds awesome, Tom. What's
but in
your
a
mile?
bourbon context,
My mile's like 25. I'm not saying, and I don't think 6 is great. I'm just saying.
6 is very, very good. If anybody's tried to run before, a 6-minute mile is phenomenal.
It's ever
phenomenal.
I don't know. I don't remember measuring last time, Drew, but I'm pretty sure I'm like a 4 or something like that.
Anyway, I'll stop trying to talk seriously with you jokers on the stream.
You invited me.
Yeah. But I mean, it's
no one
because
to
I
blame
love
but
you.
yourself.
And we met through this. Yes. And that's why I wouldn't stop doing it, is because, that's fun to me. It's like this is my connection to several friends, and I don't want that to go away. And I also really love whiskey. So I'm going to keep making videos just at a different pace. That's all. Whiskey Duke in the house. What's up? Welcome. I think this is the first time in a while maybe I've seen you in the chat. Maybe ever. Maybe in a while.
I will tell you what.
Few drinks in. Few drinks
whiskey. If after you have a bowl of Brussels sprouts and chicken sausage, it still sings.
It's hard to tell what bourbon's going to taste good after sometimes.
That bourbon was awesome before and after.
We grilled some burgers the other night, and they were well seasoned burgers. And I had some Eagle Rare, and the Eagle Rare was falling flat after the burger, which is a bummer. Like bourbon goes great with grilling, but not great with grilled food. It's bourbon while grilling, and then you stop while you eat. You crack a beer, a cold one, and then bourbon after, but not bourbon during. It's kind of wasted bourbon at that point. Whiskey Dick, no, have not made bourbon barbecue sauce. Sorry, I missed that Terrence one, but that sounds fun. Should maybe do that. I know Fred's got his own brand of barbecue sauce.
Yeah, Kentucky. They're here in Louisville.
Terrence, we're not going to discontinue the streams. We're just going to probably dial them back. So what Brian and I have to do is just chat a little bit and kind of figure out what is going to make sense. Maybe a monthly, monthly is very doable for sure. I love doing this. It's one of my favorite things. Just like last Thursday night, it just didn't work. So yeah, it's what we'll try and do is publish a schedule that people can count on. So if you dig the stream, you want to prioritize it, you can, but I don't want to keep telling you to, Thursday nights, we're going to do a stream. And then I don't show up. Like that's what I want to avoid. So, on Patreon, once we get all this dialed, I'm going to keep being as transparent as I can. So make sure everybody kind of knows the skinny, as it were. And then my weekly videos or whatever, that's what I also it's really hard to commit to, because basically it's, a couple evenings to try and crank one of those out, because I record such dang long videos. That's part of the problem. It's like a 20-minute video is not a small amount of work.
Terrence, so we also talked about me continuing doing the streams just in Drew's absence as well. And whether that would just be completely off the rails.
Honestly, I'd prefer it.
Yeah, remains to be seen.
Yeah.
I do highlight a lot more posts. I do highlight a lot more posts than Drew ever did. So, I got that going for me.
Definitely. And I'm a big supporter. If it's like Brian's going to stream every week and he's going to have different people on and I jump on when I can, 100% here for that.
Yeah, I hope you guys only want to hear me talk about Four Roses. So there's that.
I might recommend some content deviation. People seem to really like the draft series we were doing. There's a lot more.
Yes.
There's a lot more to be mined there. And we've got some streams, it's not over. It's not over. Still not.
I saw that polling function that they had in Mash and Drum he was using right around that time. If we could figure out how to use that over here, that would be very slick.
I can
with
look
the
into
draft.
that. I don't know what he uses to live with.
I assume StreamYard, but
Maybe not.
So-
There's so many different ones.
okay. So Porkins, apparently you have a barbecue competition team, and in addition to being a sommelier and a bourbon sommelier and a software
This guy,
engineer.
total legend.
I mean, this man is the Renaissance man par excellence.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Doesn't have kids. Which no knock on that. And just like it opens up a world of
helps, though.
possibilities. Yeah, right. Yeah. Definitely. All right. Any other parting comments, topics, questions before we hang it up? Because we're 2 hours.
Yeah, we're not done yet. I'm gonna try and find this old comment from who from the other Tom. Apparently asked the Four Roses question that we ignored, and now I have to find it.
Oh my God.
Can't wait for that.
It won't take me very long, or will it?
It
Remains to be seen.
Will it?
Hey, you've already gone to the bathroom once, and it's only 10 o'clock in your world.
I don't need to pee. I need to go to
I'm
bed.
just saying, stop whining.
You should. So
He always talks about needing to go bed at 10, but he keeps me up till 11, Tom. No, makes no sense.
Fucking
Look,
Central Time. Oh, sorry.
If you, it's fine.
Thomas, quit.
You both have met me in the real world. You know I swear like a sailor.
Oh yeah, you really do. You really
Real
like
quick.
to swear at me.
Real quick, Sawyer and I went on a golf trip, and we went on a barrel pick, and I was like, I gotta go home and go to bed. big sleep guy. And so Sawyer and I, with a couple other guys, went on a golf trip.
Big sleep energy.
And going up to that trip, the family had been sick. We were all recovering, but then the baby was also teething, so the sleep was awful. So I was very sleep deprived. Then we go on the trip, we play one round, and then we have some drinks. We're watching, we had recorded the PGA Championship. We're up till like 11 o'clock watching the playback, and it was great. It was good times. Then I went to bed, basically fell asleep at midnight and woke up at 6:15, and then Whoop, which shout out Whoop, but Whoop basically told me, you're going to die today. Like you are so poorly rested, so poorly hydrated. You are going to die. And that was not a good wait, because the next day, so that was on Sunday, we played our first round. Monday, Eric Sawyer and another Eric, not a member of Neat Nation, but a member of Swing Nation, and we played 54 holes, 3 rounds of golf. Basically took us all day. We played 18 holes, broke for lunch, and then played 18 holes, then 18 holes again. And somehow I survived. So that is, an example, hopefully inspiring. Hopefully I've inspired you all with this example, the strength of the human spirit and the pure ability of the heart to continue beating against all odds, really. But anyway, I felt like absolute garbage. And the droopy way is to prioritize sleep. I'll own my weak constitution, and that I value feeling good very highly. And sleep is a big part of that for sure. So not sure what a bogey is, but a bogey is a bad guy in aviation terminology.
That's spelled wrong.
Shout out Maverick.
EY, I guess. Is that right?
Whatever.
Bougie. Oh, bogey, like golf. Yeah, no, it was more like double bogey. I didn't have it, to be fair. I played like dog crap. My swing.
Come on, how do I do this?
I'm not at the top of my game. So Sawyer kicked my glutes. Normally he and I kind of go back and forth, but he's at my number this year. This has not been the year of Swing Nation for Drew P. I've had the shanks. I was awful off the tee. I played last Sunday with Plutzy. up at the River Club, and I was nails around the green, up and down for sure, one putting my nuts off. But I probably put 4 or 5 drives out of bounds off the tee, so that was not great. That was not
basically
great.
the same.
So that's all I have to say. That's the summary of the conditties right now. The mental state of the droopy being. Droopy Dang Shank. Love that. That's a killer t-shirt idea. Brian, you need to stop.
Today you feel like the luckiest man on the face of the earth. Is that what it is?
Well, luckiest man on the face of the earth. I don't have. Pretty sure I don't have MS. Isn't that what Lou Gehrig? Isn't that?
Well, no, ALS. Lou Gehrig's
ALS, right? Yeah, different, but it's a number abbreviation. Yeah. But I don't. I'm pretty sure I don't. I mean, it could have anything at this point. Honestly.
Well, I wouldn't be making jokes at your expense if that's.
I'm not.
That's why we were kicking us to the curb.
You might. Yeah, but we wouldn't laugh at them. People would probably feel bad for me. Super chats would be a lot higher. All right. Anything else? Not that there's anything wrong with that. All right. Anything else? Are we good?
Thanks for having me on.
How they massacred. Yeah, no, thanks for joining. I mean, again, all credit to you for the Middle West pick, really, because you were the Middle West origin. Introduced us to Absolute Gem, and therefore introduced 75 other people through taste, and then a decent amount of other people through exposure audibly to Middle West. And if Middle West can get their logistics together, they're gonna do just fine. But they got some logistics problems.
I would like to understand what exactly happened after it got to the distributor, though.
Wouldn't we? So no. I don't think. Oh, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Wouldn't we all like to know
what this
happened
crew
with the Middle West pig?
Where's the Four Roses shelf?
It's there.
Room.
It's there.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just in he's in a different section.
He's a different section of the basement. He's got to move over.
Did you see my notes, Eric? Did you see him yet? Bye.
Oh, we lost him. He's gonna move. We'll give him a minute to jump back on, but I'll let him tell you guys I'll let him describe the Drew P way as of Monday morning on that golf trip. I mean, to be fair, it was like panic attack level Drew P, which is probably a sight to behold. I've never witnessed it myself, but I've experienced it. Eric said he didn't have audio. But yeah, that was not fun. But I got past it. I worked through it. Like the first 5 holes were an absolute disaster that morning. Then I got it together. The second 18, I actually was fairly competent. And then I utterly lost it. The third 18, but we were kind of playing just for fun. We did a little 3-man scramble. I think we shot 2 under. And it was amazing times, like memories that I'll have forever. But the day started with a little bit of a wake-up call. You need to care for yourself, man. You got kids.
Brian, dude,
yep.
This could be like Drew's last stream and you're on your phone.
I'm listening to him while also trying to send Eric the notes because he was just here. I want him to see the notes if he was at dinner. So whatever.
I'm also ranting and raving like a lunatic.
That's okay. I'm just trying to make fun of Brian.
And also, I'm just ready for Drew to be off here so we can turn it into the channel it should be. All about NULU. I'm gonna start rating
alternating streams about NULU or Four Roses.
I can't find it. I don't even know. I guess I don't have Eric's number. I have no way to send all these notes. I'm not going to send. It's too large for Instagram. So,
hey,
Eric,
whatever,
are you gonna
pick up that Doug G
stream
note there?
Tom, thoughts on Finnish Middle West? Yeah, that's great. Tom, why don't you give us your thoughts? Because I haven't had any.
All I have is the cask strength. What is it? The ported rye.
Oh yeah, I remember when they released that. Which their standard, like if you got a pumpernickel single barrel, which we tasted, single barrel.
This is the only Finnish
rye. That was
Middle
so
West
good.
I have.
Their rye is so
I will
good.
tell you what. The packaging on this is amazing.
Yeah, it looks good.
It is a gorgeous bottle.
Really struggling there.
Yeah, sorry, but it doesn't do it justice. But it's a gorgeous bottle, and I haven't had any a little bit, but it's delightful. It's a nice, easy drinking, very, very flavorful. The rye spice comes through, but not too hot. And it's 120.8 proof. So I loved it.
Great. Yeah, that would be a fun one to taste at some point.
Yeah, I haven't had any of the
Finnish
bourbons or the wheat whiskey. They were like 120, 130 for the cask strength. So,
yikes. Yeah. All right, y'all. Looks like Eric is out, so we're gonna go ahead and hang it up. Bummer. We'll be back probably next
Everyone
week.
catch the last 6 minutes of the NBA Finals Game 1. Let's go Celtics.
But like I said, we're going to keep the content up at the usual pace, at least through June. Patreon will stay live at least through June. And so we'll work over the next couple of weeks to get things dialed in and give you updates on what you can expect in the future from the Droopy Whiskey channel and the Entry Proof collaboration. And Eric's back now.
He's a tease.
Do you have audio now? All right.
Yes. Can you hear me?
It's the squad. Yeah. Everybody's here.
Yeah. So I was going to sign us off, Eric, but do you have anything you'd like to offer? Or do you want
Eric's
to
ready to go.
Rabbit trail?
Drew,
we
know that your tendency is to end the night.
I'm
going
to sleep here.
Start the night.
Yes. I'll just move over there. I'll take my computer on the couch and just go to sleep right over there.
Eric that is a big golf energy if I've ever seen it.
I just got done golfing.
Nice. Thursday night league. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Finished
and to be fair,
triple.
Eric has unbelievable stamina, this man. I mean, like if you want to have a good time, Eric will have a good time with you, and he can that
He's not an escort, Drew. Don't make it. Don't paint him.
Does he have dark, fudgy balls though?
I can speak to the consistency nor the color of his.
I like soft golf balls.
Couldn't speak to that, but I can vouch for his ability to party. That's what I can say, and to do so, like to keep the vibes high. So Eric's a high vibes guy. Whereas Drew P, I feel like I run hot early and then I'm just like, boom, it's over. It's just like, and then like, no, that's all you're going to get. So that I felt like I ran hot on Monday, vibes were really high. And then, or on Sunday, and then Monday morning, it was like, oh, this is bad. And then Sunday, the back half of the day, I got it together. But then Tuesday, because Eric left at the end of Monday, which was an early bedtime after those 54 holes. We just got food and went to bed. But then Tuesday, I was spent. There was nothing left in the vibes tank at that point. Eric, do you have anything to add? Any reflections from our time together?
Monday morning,
leave Wisconsin because he needed to go to bed.
So Eric, you have the floor. I'll mute Tom if we need to, so you can speak. But
no, I was just saying Monday morning you were not. I thought you were gonna die, and you went to bed like an hour and a half before me and Matt.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know if we were in any worse condition physically, like if I was in any worse condition than you, but mentally, I was in a much worse mental state. Which it would have been. To be fair, I should have left my little fitness band at home and been like, you know what, whatever happens, happens. If I go into cardiac arrest, at least I didn't see it coming.
I feel like
Is this,
more of a psyche made you feel worse than you actually did.
100%. Like when I woke up and I got my little daily health report, which was the worst one I have ever gotten. It sent me into a very dark place. Like, and then I got to, so then the first hole, I'm like, let's just keep it between the mustard and the mayonnaise, theme of the week. First hole was fine. Second hole, drive was fine. No, I shanked it. No, I didn't shank. I pulled it left, and then I hit my second shot to about 80 yards, and then I shanked it into the house. You remember that? Yeah. No, that was the third hole. Second hole was fine. Third hole, I shanked it in the house, and then I shanked it on the next hole, and then I shanked it on the next hole. So it was like a repeated big shank vibes. And when you get the shanks, if you've never played golf. Oh my gosh. It's one of the most depressing things. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm just going to hit every ball off the hosel and that's going to be the day. I just spent God knows how much money to play this golf course and I'm going to shoot 180. That's how it felt. So, yeah, it was tough. Tough scene. To be fair, I got these matches here. So I'm just playing with right now. To be fair, I don't feel like outside of my deep existential crisis, I didn't throw any golf clubs. You know, I didn't put my putter through a green, but I did contemplate self-harm.
Innuendo?
No.
So was that Distill America weekend?
That was the weekend after that. So that I was probably still recovering from that because that day was a rager. That was really fun too. That was a lot of fun.
The stories about your manning the what table was it? What brand?
The Kentucky Owl.
The Kentucky Owl.
I never posted the video. It was when I went back and watched the video.
There's video.
It was shorter. Yeah, Pletsy has video. I can have him send it, but it's shorter than I remembered. Like we got behind the table and we poured like two to our boys, and they were right on us, man. They were not having it.
For being a very loosely ran event, they were on us quick.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Which I mean. Yeah, and to be fair, they had nothing to lose. Like Kentucky Owl wasn't there, and that Wise Man is such a dog crap product. Like it unsells itself. It's truly awful. Truly
Did
awful.
it just win some awards?
Well, if it won, so yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't care much about awards. Like it was fun when when the Spaniard won double gold at San Francisco, but when Freddie boy, I need to review Minnick's Ascot Awards. But when I saw his like best whiskey, I'm like, are you kidding
did
me?
really well in that.
Well, that's good for them, but I need to review the tops because it's like some of them were like, this guy has lost his dang mind. Like there's what best bourbon was some really like average product. But I'm shooting from the hip now. I need to actually go back and review it because it may be worth. Yeah, that's what it was. Bullet Barrel Strength won best bourbon. Like really, like that one won best. Really? Like I need to go back, digest, and then release an absolute tirade of video on awards. So that'll be fun.
That's not like you though. A tirade.
No, it's not.
Drew's ending the channel and he's going out in a blaze of glory.
Yeah, he is.
I did want to do an impression video where I just do impressions of other whiskey tube channels. But I really don't want to be offensive. Like it could be really, really funny or people could take it really, really bad. So it's like, I don't really want it. I don't want them to take it bad. But parodies are fun. And if somebody did a parody of me, I would hope that I could take it and be like, oh, that's fair. It's probably really good. Like, all, there's truth in all criticism. So, okay, so we went an extra 15 minutes.
I'm sorry.
Are we good now? Everybody good?
Brian, how are
for
those
bed?
samples?
That's all that matters.
He
I'm not going to talk about the samples more.
D best. D best, B
ruined
second
it.
best.
I've heard that.
Sawyer,
about Brian.
Okay.
Sawyer, what was in D? What was
Can't
in D?
tell you.
Because he like, because it has to be
Proprietary blend.
blind for Jason. Can you text me what it is so I know?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, I'm going to give
text me
you
what it is
samples.
so I know.
Yeah, but Drew, I'm going to give you samples based on the B and D and variations of those at different ratios.
Got it.
And then you can make that,
It's
make that even better.
Sick. Okay. Sounds fun. All right, Nation. I'm really going to hang it up now. And is what it is. We'll be back soon. Talk
Don't
more.
want your wrist to yell at you.
Maybe we'll talk about awards. That would be fun. Or maybe we'll try and get Brian and I some samples, or we'll go out and buy a few bottles of Minnick's top ones, and we'll break those down. That'd be fun, too. Till then, or whenever we see you next, very soon, y'all just have a good night. Tuck yourselves in. Drink a little. There's this Calm magnesium supplement. Highly recommend it. It's fantastic. Good for recovery. But just drink some of
The
that.
video's not over if you don't stop talking.
And keep it neat. Bye, everybody.